seen the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie and wanted to do all of the moves that Gambit does, this is the video for you because I'm gonna teach you every single one. I'm just gonna go in order of the clips that happened in the movie, and I love the order that they put it in because my favorite one, they put last. So make sure to stick around to the end of the video. So let's roll that opening clip again, and let me teach you how it's done. Now the first move that Gambit does is he takes only one playing card, he throws it and catches it in between his pointer and middle fingers. Now let me teach you how to do it. First, grab one playing card, and now here's the grip for when you're throwing it. You're gonna have your thumb right here on the back like this. You're going to have your middle and ring fingers right here, close to the top, but also down in the center of the playing card. Thumb in the center of the playing card. Instead of having it here, you're actually gonna turn it a little bit and point your pointer finger on this top left corner. Once you have this as your grip, there's a few different things that you need to know, but the predominant one is the spin. The more rotation you get on it, the easier it will fly and the longer it will stay in the air. So the more rotation that you can get on this playing card, the better. And the way that you're gonna do that once you're in this grip right here is you're going to be pulling back with your pointer finger like this, and you're gonna be flicking with your wrist as well. And if you do both of those at the same time, you'll be able to double up on how much spin you'll be able to get because you have two different things of motion, which gives it that spinning. And at that point, you can throw it up and catch it. The next thing that he does is called a dribble, and that's where you take the cards and you're gonna have them fall from one hand to the other. Not only is it unbelievably satisfying, but it's also super easy to do. So let me teach you. If you already know how to do something called the riffle shuffle, where you do this right here, some people call it the bridge shuffle, you already have a leg up and it'll make it a lot easier to do this move because this riffling motion is the majority of this move. First, you're gonna take your thumb and you're gonna put it on the bottom left corner if you're right-handed. Once you're here, you're gonna make sure it's in line with the deck and not perpendicular to it. And when you're here, it's barely over that bottom card. Next, you're not gonna have the deck squared, you're actually going to have the deck shifted over a little bit, and then your pointer finger is going to slide down that edge. And lastly, those top three fingers are going to go right on this front part here, again angled slightly, and just barely over the front. Altogether, your three fingers in the front should look like this, pointer finger like that, and thumb like this. And this is what it should look like from the bottom. At this point, your pointer finger is going to push down against the deck, and your thumb is going to pull up. That'll give it this bend like this. And if you're doing that same riffling motion, trying to get it to go one card at a time, you should be able to pull one card off like this. You don't want to just have your palm face up in an open hand like this, because all the cards will hit your hand and slide off and fall on the ground. So what you're going to want to do is take your pinky and move it up like a stand. Because if you have your pinky like this, when the cards all fall into it, now it has someplace to land, because if it didn't, when it lands like this, all the cards are going to fall. So now getting back into the dribble grip, all five fingers are in the places where they're supposed to be. Your left hand has your pinky up, and then you can push down with your pointer finger, pull up with your thumb, one card at a time, dribble the cards down into your left hand. Now the last time when we did the single card throw is from your right hand to your left hand. This time it's right hand to right hand. It's still the same concept. You're just throwing it up and catching it in your right hand this time. It takes a little bit more effort on your mental capacity, but it's still pretty easy. And it ends up looking like this. Now that move is called Hot Shot. It's one of my favorites ever because you're shooting a card from the deck to your other hand, just like that. Such a fun one. Absolutely love to do it, and let me show you how. So you're gonna have the deck in a grip called Mechanic's Grip or Dealer's Grip. It looks like this. Your thumb goes down the left long edge, pointer finger on the top, three fingers on the right long edge. You're gonna pick up about half the deck with your thumb and push it up like this. So now you have two completely different packets. You're gonna take your thumb, slide it inside, and grab this card right here, which in this case for me is the 6 of diamonds. You're gonna pull it out, and then drop that top packet back on top. So now you have it sandwiched right here, only a quarter of it is inside, and you have 3/4 of the card on the outside. At this point, your thumb is going to push it up, that way it's now up closer to the top, and your pointer and middle finger are going to shift it around, though it's still only a quarter of the card inside of it, or maybe a little bit less, but now it's on the top right corner instead. At this point, what you're going to do is you're going to take your middle finger, place it on the back right here just like this, and you're gonna push against this number, whichever number you have on your card. And when you're pushing against this corner right here, because it's already partially off the top, it's gonna rotate around just like this and spin. Now that time when I did it, it was pretty slow, but if you do it again, and I'll speed it up this time you'll see the difference in the spin just based off the pressure. So then you can do Hot Shot, open it up, take the card out, pivot it around with your pointer finger and middle finger, and shoot it from one hand to the other. And now we get to one of my favorite parts, which is card throwing. But in this case, we're only gonna need one card. First, I'll teach you the grip, and then I'll show you exactly how I throw it as well. So, the way that I would recommend throwing it when you're going for a distance like this is I'd clip the top left corner, just like this, with my pointer finger and my middle finger. You can see a little bit of the corner outside of there, but outside of that, there's not really anything visible. My thumb is gonna go on the back of it, not directly in the center, but still in the center line. And my ring finger is gonna go on the back side of it, matching my thumb. Once again, rotation is key, but this time we're gonna get way more power on it because of this grip. The reason being is, when you're throwing it, you're still flicking with your wrist, but you're also going to be extending with your fingers like this instead. So as you're flicking with your wrist, you're extending with your fingers. This time we're getting other parts involved because we're also going to be using our elbows as well. So you're gonna be bringing it back here like this, extending with your elbow, extending with your wrist, extending with your fingers. And you're gonna start it back here, almost in the pocket of your armpit, which is where he did it in this movie. When you start back in your armpit, you're gonna rock back towards that shoulder, bring that one back. That way you can actually use your shoulder as well. Shoulder forward, elbow extended, wrist extended, pointer finger extended. And if you do this all at the same time, you come back, you come through, you let go at the end, and you end up putting a lot of power on this. I've put it into drywall before. But crazily enough, that's still not the best way to get the most power on it or to get the most distance. That's actually the last clip from this movie.
Talk or I'm gonna start dealing.
Okay, hey.
Now you'll see in this clip that he holds it between his middle and pointer finger like this. Now don't get me wrong, I could still get a decent amount of power on it, and definitely more power on it than when we did it this way. This way still is more power, but this way still has the most. Unfortunately in that clip we can't see what he did with his left hand to originally shoot it off from that hand to his right hand to be able to catch it, but here's just a bonus one just in case this is how he did it. This one's called Cyclone. You're gonna be taking the deck in your left hand and you're going to push off one card. You're gonna slide your ring finger underneath, just like this, and then your middle finger is gonna go on top. Thumb is still on top right here as well. All together now, you're going to let go with your thumb, and then you're gonna extend with your middle and ring fingers. At this point, it's going to rotate it, and then switch those two fingers. What's gonna happen is if you do this in full motion, and then once you have fully extended, you let go, it will then shoot from your left hand to your right hand from the deck. And all together, it looks like this. Now before we have the long distance power throw, we have the card spring and the behind the back card throw, which is a tandem move in back to back. How he pulls it off this well, we'll just say it's because he has superpowers. We'll start with the card spring and then we'll get to the behind the back card throw. So with the card spring, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your thumb on the bottom left corner like this. You're gonna have it barely over the top of this corner because you wanna shoot it off of this corner and not off of this corner where your fingers are at. Top right corner, you're gonna pinch in between your pinky and ring fingers, and then you're gonna put the other two fingers on top. And most of your power is going to be held here. You're gonna do a lot of the work with your thumb. You're going to end up bending it toward your hand, contrary to popular belief. And if you do it really slowly, you should see the card come off of your thumb like this. You're gonna use the same grip to catch the cards that you did with the dribble, where your pinky comes up like this. I'd recommend starting really close to your hand when you first do it, because or else cards are gonna go everywhere. Start just like this. Bend the cards toward your hand, put a little extra pressure on it until the cards shoot off into your other hand. Eventually you can get it to the point where you can move your hands away from each other. And maybe after a while, you can do it just like him. But admittedly, that grip for doing the card spring is not my favorite one. It's the most traditional grip, but not my favorite. The grip that I prefer to use is where you have your thumb on the bottom left still the same, but this time it's your middle finger only that's on the top right corner. Pointer finger still here, and that's pretty much it. Your ring finger and your pinky fingers are only going to be on the outside, but not actually connected to the deck. At that point, you're still gonna have the same thing, still comes off the thumb. For the most part, for me, I find that I have more control when I'm using just my middle finger here, but I find that I have more power when I'm using all four. So this time I'm gonna do it with the other grip that I usually do, and you'll see the difference. Now for the behind the back card throw, here's what you're gonna do. First, you're only gonna need the one card so you can get rid of the rest. And you're gonna start with the same grip that you used when you did the one hand toss to the other one and the first clip. Pointer finger on the top left, pointer finger on the top left, thumb on the back, middle and ring on the bottom. Here's the difference this time when you're doing it. Make sure that when you're going behind your back to do this move, that you're gonna keep it flat the whole time and you don't ever tilt it one way or the other. You're gonna come around your back, and then once you reach here, you're going to go up. So here's my waist, I'm going up here. So I come around, I'm now here, I go up, and once I get to a point to where I pass my spine with my wrist, that's when I'm going to flick, spin with my pointer finger, and catch it in this hand. So turned around, it looks like this. And from the side angle, it looks like this. In the last clip, he does the most powerful and the most distance, and he does change up the way that he throws it a little bit. I would still end up using the same grip that you used on the one where he threw it for distance and ended up breaking the bottle that Wolverine was holding. This time, he came over the top of his shoulder. This is the way that I would recommend it every time because it makes it feel more like a baseball throw. Under normal circumstances, I'm probably gonna either hit my shoulder or go a little bit above right where my neck is. I'm still gonna rock back and end up using that full motion that we talked about last time. So for the most part, if you pretend like this card is a baseball, you'll be just fine. Now I'm gonna go a little bit slower here because I'm in a smaller room. I'm gonna show you it twice. First, I'm gonna show you in a slow version, and then I'll speed it up and show you how I would actually do it. So here's the version where I'm just showing you move by move. And here's what it looks like at full speed. Now clearly throwing cards is one of the most amazing things that you can ever do, but this is not the only move that involves throwing playing cards. If you've seen the Now You See Me movies, you've seen an entire scene dedicated just to different ways to throw cards. And if you want to check out the full video on how to do every single one of those movies, you can check it out there. If you want to pick up the playing cards that I use in this video, you can click there or the link in the description. And if you like these types of videos, make sure to sub to the channel. Catch you guys in the next one. This is CPM, signing off.